All right, we're joined now. Brian Geltzeiler, Sirius XM NBA Radio, joins the program now. Geltz, good to see you. You're on the road at your son's AAU basketball practice. We appreciate the time tonight. All right, so the Knicks lose yesterday afternoon by 32. For the Knicks fan right now that is kind of feeling a little bit bad for themselves, give them a little sense of optimism going into Game 5 tomorrow night at the Garden.
First of all, Nelson just said something really important, Mark. If you get beat by 1 or you get beat by 32, it's still a loss in the game.
Yeah.
The fact that they're as worn down as they are, to get beat by 32 and for Tom Thibodeau to pull the starters out with like a minute left in the third quarter and put them on the bench for the rest of the game actually helps preserve them a little bit for Tuesday night, for tomorrow night. Because here's what I will say. The quick turnaround hurt the Knicks a lot more than it hurt the Pacers. They got done playing around 10:30 local time on Friday night. And then on the Sunday game, they end up having to play, at 3:30, be there to warm up early. Like, that's a quick turnaround for a team that's playing 3 guys in excess of 45 minutes a game. And listen, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to go on the record. I am not one of these people that's a member of the minutes police and is faulting Tom Thibodeau for playing these guys all of these minutes. If Tom has not played these guys all these minutes, the Knicks wouldn't be here, kids. They wouldn't have beat the Philadelphia 76ers. Tom's doing everything he can. With that said, I expect a major effort out of the Knicks coming up in Game 5. This is a very together group. This is a gritty group. They play hard, and that was an embarrassment. They won't take well to being embarrassed. One other interesting silver lining thing. Alec Burks hadn't played much in these playoffs. He's generally been a pretty selfish player since he came back to the Knicks here. He had 20 yesterday. They need him. They need a fresh body. They need his shooting, his scoring. They need his athleticism. He helped. Daquan Jeffries didn't look bad yesterday. If Tom needs to go to him for 3 to 5 minutes in the second quarter. So they found a couple of guys on the bench that can help here past their normal 7 that they play. I think you'll see a little bit more action out of Burks here. I think he'll play a little bit better. Listen, the Knicks are not dead in this series a little bit. It's 2 games out of 3 right now to win, and 2 of them will be in Madison Square Garden. I still think the Knicks win this series in 7. I like them a lot here. I feel like this was the aberration game, and quite frankly, we may see a reverse in Game 5, and the Knicks come out, and they're the ones that blow the Pacers out. Everything went right for the Pacers in Game 4, and everything went wrong for the Knicks. That worm can turn very, very easily, guys.
Very, very true. Aaron Nesmith has done a great job defensively on Brunson. How can Brunson and the Knicks make an adjustment here?
So that's very interesting, Nelson, because if you look at what happened in the Philly series, Brunson struggled early in the Philly series with size on him as well, with Kelly Oubre and Nico Batum. The 2 of those guys played him great. But eventually what happened? Brunson got comfortable and got used to it. I can promise you this. Jalen Brunson's watching film. Now, the thing with Nesmith that's a little bit different than Oubre and Batum. He's very, very physical. So he's stronger than Brunson. Brunson plays a physical style for a guy his size. But I'm telling you, Brunson is going to find some things to do. Here's the other thing that's going to happen. Look for a lot more dribble handoff action with Brunson, and look for Hart and DiVincenzo to initiate more offense and not have Jalen Brunson bring the ball up the floor as much. It preserves him a little bit. He doesn't have to have that grind. The other thing that happens there is he's getting the ball on the move in dribble handoffs, allows him to get into the paint. One of the things the Knicks have to be very careful about is settling for too many threes. Brunson likes too many threes off the dribble, and when he's not shooting it great, that hurts. Listen, he hits some of his big shots. The catch and shoot threes are great, but the Knicks need to make sure they're getting in the paint and they're attacking closeouts. They've been at their best offensively in these playoffs where they've attacked closeouts on 3-point shots. I think we'll see a whole lot of the same out of them in Game 5. I actually am pretty optimistic about the Knicks here in Game 5. I'm not looking at a 32-point defeat and thinking in any way, shape, or form, even this decimated group of Knicks, that the Pacers are 32 points better than the Knicks.
All right, Geltz, fatigue or injuries? What's the bigger issue, bigger concern here for Tibbs and the Knicks?
Injuries. I mean, listen, you've been without Randall. Robinson was so good in the Philly series against Embiid. The poor guy's dragging around an ankle. Bogdanovic's points were going to be so key for them. That's why Burks matters so much in this spot. They need those points off the bench that Bogdanovic gave them. Those are important. And listen, Anunoby, who I know was complaining about shots and looks earlier in the season, had all the shots and looks he wanted here and was showing himself to be a very capable second scorer before he got hurt. Still holding out hope that you could see Anunoby if they make it to the next round. I don't think he's back in this round at all. But to me, it's clearly injuries. And I got to tell you, with the amount of guys that have gotten hurt, I mean, 4 guys out of their 9-man rotation, the way other guys have been able to step up, the way these 3 Villanova guys, I like to call it the Villanova Mafia, those 3, Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Hart, the way the Villanova Mafia keeps fighting out there. I love all of this from them. And I think the Knicks still have a whole lot of fight left in them. Listen, I don't know if they can do much if they get to a conference final against Boston. But right now, Indiana's what's in front of you. You have to beat what's in front of you and get by. I know it was an ugly loss for the Knicks yesterday, but I really, really still like them in this series.
Geltz, you're the best. Sirius XM NBA Radio, Brian Geltzeiler giving us his thoughts on Knicks Pacers. We appreciate it. Thanks for the time tonight, Brian.
Always my pleasure. Sorry about the training room, guys. It was the only room I could find on short notice.
Hey, suit up.
It all works.
You might have to suit up. We might need you.
As long as I'm not hurt, and I'm not hurt. And I promise you that. Tom didn't play me too many minutes, guys. You know?
I wasn't athletically good enough to see a training room at any point in time in my life. It was a walk. Geltz, we'll talk to you, brother.